Now, before we get underway, we really have to check that the microphone is working. Are you working?
Yes, I am.
Okay, now you're working. What you have just seen there are some pictures of the Three Gorges Dam in China about 2 months ago, and I've been scouring the internet because we can't get any live feeds, and you can see that it's still standing. There are no holes, there's not much happening, the levels are pretty low, the sluice gates are not open, there's no floods, etc, etc, etc. And let me just show you a little bit more of the Three Gorges Dam about 2 months ago, towards the end of May. A very warm welcome to the channel. This is the James Neil Cooper channel. My name is James. Today is Monday, the 25th of July 2022. And for those people who work, yes, it's another day back in the office, or the normal grind that you have to do. Looking forward to Friday night and the weekend once again. Now, the title of this show, China's Three Gorges Dam is a disaster for the environment protection. Why am I showing this? Is something that we have covered, but maybe like a couple of years ago, or maybe like 18 months ago. Imagine the Yangtze River. It's a really long river. It's 6,100 kilometers long, starting in Tibet, ending up by the delta of Shanghai. And there's like 13, including the Three Gorges Dam, 13 dams in total before the including the Three Gorges, and maybe some others, which I will show you later in today's show, downstream of the Three Gorges. So imagine the amount of trash that comes through to the Three Gorges Dam, and this is like the biggest blockade. You can see from some of the videos here that I'm showing you that it's a mammoth task. And do people just dump their garbage into the Three Gorges Dam? Do the garbage disposal units say, oh, just put it in there? It's the old saying, it's out of sight, it's out of mind, which is really just a awful thing. Let me continue with the images for you now. Today we are not doing the levels, today we're not doing the weather forecast, giving that a day of rest for you. Now, quite often I do talk about Yingchang. Yingchang is like 20 kilometers west or east downstream of the Three Gorges Dam. It's the nearest city to the Three Gorges, and they do have a dam. Now, I always get this wrong with the pronunciation. The Gi Gizol Dam, I think it is. But I've never been able to find any video footage, a couple of snapshots here and there. But I have today, and please do have a look, of the dam below the Three Gorges Dam. And that's really all I got about the Three Gorges Dam for today. Just some updates, information. Yes, it is, you could say, 2 months old, these pictures at the very beginning of the show. But it shows some of the, again, the fakers, which I keep rattling on about, that it's still there, it's still standing, there's no holes. There are cracks, but there's no leaks, and the sluice gates are not open, and there's not any floods around there at the time, not serious floods like we've had in other parts of China, which we have shown before. Now, away from that, what is life like in China? For people in Shanghai who've been through the lockdown for April and May, and a video I found on Twitter, which I'm going to share with you right now, is some Shanghainese people, some local people, people who live in Shanghai, and some expats who've made Shanghai their home. It looks like this.
I'm ready. Howdy folks, this is Alan. So I went to Sanya, which is China's Hawaii, for a little over a week. But then when I got back, things got scary again in Shanghai. Dozens of new cases popped up. And some of my friends who live in Pudong were quarantined again, even though it was just for a few days. And there's also been a lot more testing. But it's also really necessary in order to get into office buildings, as well as to take public transport. 8 a.m. on a Sunday, I came down to do my mandatory mass testing. There are other things I'd rather do, like sleep. The fridge is pretty full, and I've got a lot of frozen meat here. And I just don't have any more space. With concerns that there's going to be another lockdown, I thought that would be a good time just to get another freezer just in case. More than 20 million people in China's financial capital of Shanghai were locked down for at least 2 months. I've had maybe a dozen friends who have left or are leaving, including Sylvia, who heads to London for her MBA.
I would say it probably accelerated my move because I was planning to perhaps wait for another year or so, but this time after this 2 months of lockdown, I think everything has been changed, including our mentality and also our outlook for the city as well. I guess the worst is our concern of another lockdown coming on the way. So a lot of people are just trying to leave as soon as possible. The Chinese government trying to create a very calm facade from the outside, but actually there's a lot going on inside.
China has staked so much on avoiding virus fatalities, it can't exit the pandemic as other countries have by accepting deaths as a reality of living permanently with COVID. Given the size of China's population, the stakes are even higher. But the trade-off for Xi is slower economic growth, which has traditionally been the prime concern of party officials. Terry, great to see you, man. I'm here with Terry, who's lived here for 2 decades, and is now a resilience coach.
It's hard to be positive all the time. For a lot of us, it's the not knowing when we can get out. Number one is stay away from the news. So the news is incredibly demoralizing. Also remove yourself from any WeChat groups, any social media that is negative, and try and remove yourself from the situation. Physical exercise can really go a long way to boost your mental health. Go and do 100 squats. Go and do 10 push-ups. Just get your blood going.
In Shanghai, there have only been a couple of dozen new cases, but there have been some towns. There's one steelmaking hub that locked down the whole city because of one case. And lockdown concerns and slowing economic growth. GDP barely grew in the second quarter are the reasons why one consultancy estimates that 10,000 wealthy Chinese are looking to leave China this year. For those who can't leave, well, basically got to hope and pray that you're not caught in another lockdown in China's new normal.
And away from Shanghai. Now, yesterday I showed you some dust storms in the northwest of China in Qing Qinghai province. And I want to show you a bit more of this. Some more footage has come out. Please note, this is in a desert. This is quite common, but to capture these images, no people were hurt or injured during the making of these videos. It's just a really massive dust storm. And for you and I who live in suburban areas, it's sort of quite fascinating to see this kind of phenomenon happening. And with COVID spiking here and there in China occasionally, I think more so now in Shenzhen, but also in this place, Jiangsu province, you have to go and get the nucleic acid test every 24 hours, every 48 hours, every 72 hours, or even once a week. It depends on which part of the country you live in and depends on the COVID cases in that certain area. Regardless of the weather, whether it's 42 degrees or a thunderstorm or a gale or even a typhoon or heavy rain, these people have to endure just to go and get the test. Now, I know I have shown this before, but this is a longer edition of it, and you can read some of the articles. This is, again, like real life in certain parts of China that some people just have to endure just for normal life. To a close on Monday, the 25th of July 2022. Please do go and check out the channels below in the description and also in the pinned comments. A lot of these channels are developing and they're not monetized. I'm trying to get them up to these levels so I can continue. The We Travel, hopefully, the We Travel channel, hopefully by November I can actually get on an aeroplane and actually go to Thailand and show you what it's really like with my trusty GoPro, going to places like Pattaya, Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Phuket, Koh Samui, etc. I would love to show you that, but I need the monetization first. All I need from you is that like, subscribe, that resubscription, and sharing this on your social media like Instagram and Twitter and your YouTube and possibly your Facebook or whatever you have. Snapchat, share it on Rumble, I don't mind. It's just the algorithm to help the channel grow or help the channels grow. Again, I do this for a hobby and I just enjoy doing this, sharing information. And I love all the comments, the constructive criticism, the sometimes the negative things when I do make a little bit of a oopsie doopsie, so to speak. But I will love you and leave you, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow, God willing. Be well, be safe, God bless, and thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.